What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your guy, Sir Love. And on this show, if you don't know, what I do is answer questions that you guys send in. So I got a question from Ganesh Matlock. All right, Ganesh Matlock. And Ganesh, thank you for reaching out. He says, Sir Love, you are God. I appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment. And I appreciate you watching those videos that I did on how to get a $1 million record deal, right? But now he's asking, how do I get 300,000 streams in the questions? 300 million streams. How do you do that? How does one go about getting 300 million streams? Well, I can give you an answer. I'm going to give you a solid answer, but it's going to be different for every single artist. One thing that you have to know about marketing is that marketing is deprecating. It's self-deprecating. It definitely meets the law of diminishing returns, which says once a new marketing strategy comes out, the trend is going to go up, then it's going to flatline, and then it's going to die. And why is that going to happen? Why? Because in marketing, people abuse marketing. There was a time period where everyone checked every single email, right? Everyone had checked every single email. If you remember, you got mail with Tom Hanks. He was all excited to check his email and chat back and forth with people and do AIM and Instant Messenger and whatever, right? Now we got spam blockers and 1,000,001 people sending us things different types of ways. The same thing could have been said of Instagram. Instagram, you was excited to look at your messages. Now you have to group people and request access to me. I don't know you. Who are you? And put people in buckets because people started spamming, right? So spamming happens in every space, not just sending text, but in every single space. Anything that works in marketing, people will overuse, right? Commercials came out. It was like, great. One commercial, two commercials while you're watching the show every, 10 minutes, maybe that's fine. But you go to some channels like BT, if you watch BT, it seems like they do a commercial break like every 3 minutes. You got 2 to 5 minutes of commercials, right? Sometimes Hulu abuses their commercial privileges. I say all this to say that when something works well in marketing, people abuse it. And once it's abused, the market responds by no longer liking it. So if I was to tell you the silver bullet that will work for your career right now, it would only work for maybe the first few people that watched it, and then it will fall off a cliff. That's the reason why I don't give silver bullets. But what I will give you is a framework for how to make yourself successful. So here we go. 300,000 streams. The easiest and number one way to get 300,000 streams is to buy them. And I don't mean buy bots. I mean buy marketing. Go out there and spend however many dollars are required, right, for you to get people to click on an ad, and the ad sends them to a video or sends them to a link of some sort where they can watch your YouTube videos, or they can listen to your music, and they can get to know you. However, this methodology would be very expensive because you'd be paying per click. So basically be paying maybe $2 to $3 per view, or if it's impressions, depending on how it's going, it could be $1, whatever it is, however you get your system, your ads campaign tuned out, you might end up paying $1 per view. And as we all know, a view is not worth $1, right? It takes about 1 million views to make about 4 bands, or 1 million views, a million plays makes you somewhere around, or streams makes you somewhere around 4 bands, right? So obviously, if you was to spend $1 million getting views, you'd only make $4,000. That's not a good recipe for a business, but it can help you get to where you want to go. So one way to do it is to buy your way in. Lil Dicky did that. Lil Dicky ran ads all over the place. He was everywhere. Apple, iTunes, this, that, and the third. Back when iTunes was the way to go. You turn on YouTube, he ran ads. He was investing in marketing. And Lil Dicky, I'm not sure if you guys are still familiar with the guy. He got TV shows and all sorts of things now. Really blew up buying his way into the game. Now, it's more complex than that, but the dude did spend significant money, or someone, right? Somebody spent significant money on his marketing campaign, because when his marketing campaign hit, he was everywhere, all right? And so you can buy your way in. This is typically what record labels do. Record labels spend millions and millions of dollars to pop an artist, or at least they used to traditionally, right? Now they'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to pop an artist. So first way to do it is to buy your way in. The second way to do it, framework-wise, the second way to do it is the snowball approach. You galvanize a small subset of fans that fall in love with you for one reason or another, and it's normally based off of shared interest, right? So if you're a street artist and you talk about dope and drugs and stand a third, and you're actually out there on the block with those audiences, and they know you and they think you're real, or they perceive you as real, and you get all of them jamming to your stuff, and then they get other people jamming and other people jamming, and you grow it, and it scales and it snowballs, and your reputation of being who you are is what drives you. It doesn't have, that's the most common way it happens in hip-hops and street music, but you can do the exact same thing in other spaces, right? if you're a rock artist and you have a certain group that or a certain space where you're doing grunge music in a certain environment and everyone in that environment loves you, you destroy that audience, you saturate that audience, and then you slowly leak out to other environments, right? And as you're leaking out to these other environments and expanding your brand, your streams are going to increase as you go, as long as you have a funnel campaign that says, hey, when I do a show, let me get your information, let me follow up, let me send you my music, let me get your email, let me get your text message, let me do this, right? One thing I used to do with an artist that I used to manage back in the day is at the end of every show, right, we had to stick a phone up, right? And this is something that's probably going to get played out now if I tell this to you guys and everyone starts doing it, but you should do it. Very successful for us. She tell everyone to raise their hand, put their phones, wave their hands with the phones, all that type of stuff. And at the end of the show, hey, take your phone out, hold it in the air, and she'd say whatever she wanted to say about the phone and make it personal or whatever it does. Hey, I want you to take my number down. And she'd give everybody a number. People would take the number in, and they'd send a text message. And we use Superphone, built by Ryan Leslie, and they would send messages, and we can keep all of their phone numbers, and then we can send them the record. So imagine doing a show, and there's 500 people in the audience, and then we blast out the record to 500 people right then and there. Maybe of all the people that we blasted it out to, 400 people click it. But you got to think, 500 people in the room, only 300 people are going to send us text messages. Out of 300, the likelihood of them wanting the record is really high. So maybe 200 of them actually listen to the record. Well, now every time we have a new song, we can blast it out to those same 200 people. If we grow that list, right? If we grow that list naturally from show to show or from marketing campaign or this, that, and the third, eventually you have 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 people. And to get to 300,000 streams, if you have 100,000 people, you're talking about getting 100,000 people to listen to 30 songs, right? That's how it works. That's the math. You get 100,000 people to listen to play your song 30 times, right? And so it's all about growing your audience. And how do you get them to play it 30 times? Maybe you drop 2 albums. And if they're your real fans, they listen to each album at least once, 300,000 streams. This is the reason why you see artists like Chris Brown dropping albums with 1,000,001 songs on them, because they know how the streaming numbers work. Okay, if you dropped an album every single year and you had 100,000 people that were tapped into you, and you drop 10 songs every year, then every year you got 1,000,000 people, a million plays guaranteed, and that's going to expand and grow. Fans are going to listen to the music multiple times. This is how you get it. It's all about fans. Fans listen to music repetitiously. My wife has played the Beyonce Renaissance album, I don't know how many times. She's listened to the whole album at least 100 times. At least. My daughter puts on Disney music. We've listened to Moana. God darn, what is it? All the little shows. Moana, Encanto, all that stuff. Like all these different shows. She listens to them all day. She'll literally tell Google, hey, Google, play this, and listen to it all day, every weekend. Those are streams. So it's all about getting fans. All right, it's all about getting fans. So the first way, pay for it. The second way, organic snowball. Now, these are the 2 ways that are historic. They've always been done this way. There are other methodologies, but I like to keep these videos short. I'm actually going to be releasing a whole marketing book on some of the tried and true best practices historically, things that will always work regardless if TikTok comes or dies, Facebook comes and dies, because VH1 came and died. Like a lot of things come and go, right? The box came, it went. But there are certain trends in the market that will always be there, and we're going to start talking about some of that stuff this year. But I hope this was helpful. So I gave you 2 methodologies. One, spend money, pay for it. So go out there, get money, and then pay for it, right? And number 2, do the organic snowball where you get a certain audience to fall in love with you, build that audience, make sure you have a way to communicate with that audience, and then send that audience your music every time you drop new music, and they'll be excited to see it. All right? This is simple, but people don't do it. Like, think about it right now. How many of you are doing it? Very simple, but how many of you are doing it, right? If you have a job, how much money are you spending on marketing for your music right now, right? If you think music is your career, so I can't work, you're not doing it right. Go get a job if you don't have one, or if you do have one, you could be making, let's say you're making $30,000 a year. You can put $10,000 towards your music. You can put $20,000 towards your music. It's better than being broke, having nothing, and just struggling and just wishing and praying on a dream, right? You've got to invest in yourself, which is path 1. And path 2 is you've got to communicate and stay in contact with your fans. You have to make music that's fan worthy, and you have to stay in contact with your fans. Technically, anyone can be successful in the music business right now because it's all about fan management, fan relationship building. The difference is how hard or easy it is. The better your music is, the easier it is to get people to like it. So you don't have to spend as much time managing your fans. But if your music isn't that good, you have to spend way more time managing your fans. You have to do extra crap. You have to be funny. You have to do something entertaining on TikTok and all this other type of stuff because your music can't stand alone, which is fine. Just do the extra work. I don't know everything, y'all, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot. I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got. I hope this video was helpful. Hey, little guy. If you appreciate what we're doing right here, thank you, boy. Thank you, boy. Pay your tuition. Go over here and download the music business. There's a lot of exciting information that I'm giving you guys and putting it out there to help you win. So come win. Come win with me, all right? Come win with me. All right, I'm out.